Hello, in this video I'm going to be trying to make a Roblox game in 1 hour. Now the idea I have is using rocket launchers as like a spleef kind of mini game, and it's going to be off of a round system and you can win coins in order to purchase new rockets. Now the first thing I did was I added a rocket through the toolbox and then I just modified it a little bit. Then I added the server. Now I first just made it so whenever you joined it just gave you the sword, and then once I got that working I set up an entire round system with an in-game table of every player. I also modified the rockets a little and made it so it can only explode parts inside a certain folder. I then created the map, which I just made this simple checker looking thing. I put multiple layers, and then I first thought of adding a lava, but I felt like it looked a little weird, so I got rid of that. I also added more space between the platforms. I then created tiers, so then whenever you spawn into the game, depending on which tier you have, depends on which rocket launcher you get. I also modified the rocket launchers a little bit more, and now there's a power value inside of the rocket, and depending on which tier you have, depends on that power value. Now, I'm able to create the client, which in replicated storage, I'm also going to need a remote first. This will be called purchase. Now I can add a screen GUI. And I'm just going to add a button, and I'll just call this game GUI, and I'll call this purchase 2. Here I'm going to modify this a little, duplicate this, call this the purchase 3, move this down here, and then change the text to 3. There we go. And then I'll put these in the bottom left corner, and then I'll make a new local script, and I'll call this the client. Also going to change this up a little. I then coded the client, linking it up to the server. I also added prices and some other UI, including a timer label to let players know how much is left. Finally, I spent my last 15-ish minutes fixing bugs. Alright, so I just finished the game. I did spend like an extra 5 minutes trying to fix this one big bug I just couldn't figure out, but now the whole game is finished. Now, I have the tier 1 rocket, so it's not that good. If I go ahead and explode, it's pretty small. In the bottom left, I'm able to buy different tiers. If I buy the final tier, and I go ahead and reset to restart the game. So it does work, it refreshes it, but now I should have the tier 3 rocket. If I go ahead and explode this one, it is... And yeah, it works. This wasn't actually too hard to make, and I feel like this could be a pretty fun mini game to play with like friends or something. There's like literally no balancing to this. I just kind of messed around with the values. Now if you want me to make a part 2, you can just comment that down below, and if you want to join my Discord server, the link is in the description. Goodbye.